The courtroom clock's sharp 9 a.m. toll rings out, sounding like a pre-storm warning signal. Heavy oak doors groan open, and Meri Brown is the first to enter. Not rushed, not apprehensive, but with the soft determination of one who has already weathered the ultimate test, betrayal at the hands of those she once considered family. Her heels tap gently on the marble floor, with each step a tick-tock ticking off justice. The gallery murmurs. Reporters write, cameras whir, and an undercurrent of tension hangs in the air like electricity before lightning. Judge Alder, crisp in her diction and unforgiving of drama, pushes up her glasses and looks toward the bench. Case number 24, CV 1107. Meri Brown v. Kody Brown et al., she declares. We are in session. Across the table, Kody Brown sits rigidly, teeth clenched, his former authoritative demeanor subdued by nights spent awake and mounting public outcry. Next to him, Robin clasps her hands, mouth set tight, eyes darting to Meri with a mix of guilt and fear. Janelle and Christine sit behind Meri, both subdued but openly demonstrative. They exchange no words, only a look that conveys. It's time. The bailiff's voice thunders. All rise. Everyone rises. Papers are shuffled. The clinking of justice sitting down is heard. Judge Alder's eyes scan the room. We are here today to consider allegations of hidden business transactions, undisclosed ownership, and possible financial misstatement within the common assets of the Brown family. Meri exhales slowly, her hand trembling only once, a ghost of old pain. Then she lifts her chin. For the first time in years, the court belongs to her truth. The courtroom lights hum faintly as Judge Alder leans forward, giving a single nod. Counsel proceed with opening statements. Meri's attorney, Lena Hart, rises slowly, confident, composed, but with eyes that burn with conviction. Her navy suit is sharp, her voice surgical. She strides to the center of the courtroom floor and confronts the jury. This case, she starts, her voice ringing through every inch of the hushed chamber, is not about vengeance. It's about acknowledgement, about a woman who gave her trust, her work, and her money to a vision she helped create, and was wiped off it. Lena clicks a small remote. On the screen behind her appears a timeline, glowing softly. 2012, business launch, 2015, land purchase, 2019, expansion. Each date flashes with documents, invoices, and Meri's initials faintly signed in the margins. You'll see how promises turned into paper trails, Lena continues, and how silence became strategy. On the other side of the room, Kody fidgets in his seat, glaring. His attorney Derek Vaughn sits poised, pen drumming against the desk as a warning signal. As soon as Lena takes her seat, Derek jumps up, tone stern. The defense will demonstrate, he states, that these were contributions from family members, not contracts. No deception, no fraud. But emotional muddle turned into legal hyperbole. Judge Alder raises a hand. Mr. Vaughn, you'll have your turn. The air thickens with tension. Meri looks straight ahead, unflinching. Lena whispers something barely audible to her. We've waited years for this moment. The judge folds her hands. This court values facts more than emotion. Let the truth speak louder than loyalty. And with that, the battle for the Brown family's legacy truly begins. The bailiff adjusts the microphone. Miss Meri Brown, please rise. Slowly Meri rises, her beige blazer catching a beam of morning light. She rests her hand on the Bible, voice calm. I do. When she sits, the room is heavier, as if the air itself senses a story about to finally breathe. Lena moves in closer. Meri, she starts softly. How long have you been a part of the family business and the way they handled their finances? Meri crosses her hands. From the start, she replies. When every dollar counted and every receipt was handwritten. Lena points to a pile of worn ledgers on the evidence table. Their pages are filled with neat handwriting, faded ink, and little notes in the margin. Exhibit A, Lena states. The accounts Meri kept, every expense, every payment, every loan. The judge leans forward. You kept these yourself? Yes, Your Honor, Meri replies. Not because someone told me to, but because I knew if I didn't, the truth would disappear. The imagination camera zooms in pages with payment records, down payments for real estate, premature orders for goods, wire transfers, all bearing Meri's initials. She goes on. I thought we were creating a family legacy, not concealing ownership in paperwork. Derek, the defense attorney, stands up for cross-examination. You're implying these were business records? Meri pins him with a look. No, Mr. Vaughn. I'm telling you these were promises made on paper because the people I trusted no longer kept them in person. The courtroom murmurs. Christine and Janelle share a knowing look. For the first time, the judge's pen hesitates halfway through a note, and everyone in the courtroom knows this is not merely a claim for money, it's a tale of devotion etched in ink. When Kody Brown goes on the stand, the mood changes, not with respect, but tension. The formerly charming patriarch who constructed a family dynasty now seems diminished under the harsh glare of fluorescent courtroom light. His gold wedding band shines as he fiddles with the microphone, a tiny reminder of vows no longer compelling. Derek Vaughn, his lawyer, advances first. Mr. Brown, can you tell me about your role in running the family finances? Kody clears his throat, voice gravelly. I was the organizer, the visionary. I did what needed to be done to keep us going. Everyone brought their share, but I was the one who took the risk. Lena, arms crossed, stands up for cross-examination. Mr. Brown, do you mean Meri's monetary contributions were optional? He takes a gasping breath. We were a family, Miss Hart. We didn't use written contracts for love. She assisted, like everyone else. Lena advances a few feet, holding one of the Exhibit A ledgers up. Then you tell me, why is your name the recipient on every payment Meri made? Why is her name absent from every single deed associated with these properties? Kody draws back. It was easier that way. The business model, or was it easier to keep her out of sight? Lena demands, voice slicing like a knife. Kody's temper erupts. His cheeks flush. Don't take my words out of context. I did everything I did for the family. Judge Alder intervenes, firm. Rein yourself in, Mr. Brown. This is not a stage for debating. Silence comes, heavy and awkward. Meri observes, her eyes shining, not with triumph, but with the sadness of one hearing excuses rather than apology. The judge makes a note, muttering softly, sometimes, the loudest defense sounds a lot like guilt. Fluorescent lights buzz gently overhead, as Lena Hart stands with a thin silver flash drive between her fingers, a blade masked as technology. She holds it up for the judge to view. Your Honor, she states matter-of-factly, Exhibit B, authenticated chain of internal emails between Mr. Brown, his business counselor, and members of the family's management inner circle. The bailiff plugs it into the courtroom monitor. The screen flickers into action. Subject line, deed shuffle, keep it tidy. The gallery leans forward reflexively. The line appears innocuous, until the background is unpacked. Lena speaks over the emails unfolding, here dated May 14, 2019. The discussion is about transferring several properties to one limited company owned by Mr. Brown. Below attached to it, we have a message from Meri requesting, please confirm my share in writing. She pauses. The response from the advisor of Mr. Brown is, we'll figure it out later. Whispers echo through the gallery. The judge raises an eyebrow. Lena moves in toward the projector, her voice sinking to an even hum. These aren't the words of a man defending family unity. They're the mechanics of hiding. Kody bristles. Those weren't mine, he stammers. That was my consultant. Lena turns to him. But you were seat on every single thread, Mr. Brown. You knew. Judge Alder cuts in calmly but insistently. Mr. Brown, hold your tongue unless spoken. The room stills. The click of the judge's pen echoes like a gavel's whisper. On screen another email appears. One line bolded in yellow highlight. Keep Meri's name off the books for now. Less messy that way. A gasp ripples through the courtroom. For the first time, Kody's confidence fractures, his empire beginning to crumble one email at a time. The courtroom has changed since the emails. Whispers have become concern, and even the air thickens with veracity. Judge Alder clears her throat. Call your next witness. Lena stands. The plaintiff calls Janelle Brown to the stand. A gentle rustle accompanies Janelle standing up. She moves with purposeful calm, the quiet solidity of a person who has witnessed upheaval but never yielded to it. Her hand shakes only slightly as she is sworn in, then takes her seat, folding her hands precisely on the stand. Lena draws near with an affectionate voice. Mrs. Brown, you worked for both sides for many years. Yes, Janelle speaks softly. Right from the start, I assisted in payment, budgets, shipping timetables, we were creating something together. Lena smiles. Did you ever see Meri contribute financially to these ventures personally? Janelle's gaze tenses toward Meri. Not pity, but solidarity. Yes, she made deposits, paid for shipments, even paid late taxes once when the rest of us couldn't afford it. It wasn't charity, it was commitment. Kody's attorney gets up suddenly. Mrs. Brown, these were gestures of family, weren't they? Not investments in business. Janelle hesitates. The silence is a loaded thing, full of power. Perhaps to him she whispers, but to her, it was trust. And trust should be respected, not concealed. Grumbles pass through the room. The judge watches her intently, sensing integrity when she sees. Janelle goes on, her voice calm but shaking. Sometimes it's not the people who sign the checks. They're the ones who ensure that there is still something to sign. Her words linger, soft, yet denser than any gavel fall. And in that instant, the courtroom doesn't merely observe a witness. It witnesses the Brown family's conscience. The bailiff's voice booms out. Robin Alice Brown, take the stand. The courtroom turns to watch, as Robin stands from the defense table, her fists clenched so tightly her knuckles turn white. She moves slowly toward the witness stand, her heels ringing out on the shiny floor. For an instant she looks at Kody. The glance is fleeting, indecisive, almost imploring. Then she turns forward. Once she's taken the oath, Lena Hart moves in closer. Mrs. Brown, you were involved in the in-house debate regarding property sales and business ownership, weren't you? Robin breathes unsteadily. Yes, some of them. Lena clicks her remote. The courtroom screen flickers to the email chain once again. The same one titled, Deed Shuffle. Keep it tidy. Highlighted in blue now is a reply from Robin herself. Let's just wait until the paperwork calms down. We'll fix it later. The audience grumbles. Robin's shoulders bristle. We weren't trying to wipe anyone out, she says, voice shaking. We just thought things would settle, and we'd work it all out as a family. Lena's tone moderates but hardens beneath. And did you ever work it out, Mrs. Brown? Robin blinks back tears. No, we kept telling ourselves we would. But things never seemed to stop breaking down. Kody shifts angrily beside his lawyer, whispering something that the microphone catches faintly. Don't say another word. Judge Alder raises her gaze. Mr. Brown, control yourself. Robin's tears spill over now. I believed we'd fix it when the cameras weren't rolling. But the cameras turned off, and the promises did too. Her voice breaks. The courtroom falls silent. Even Meri glances down, torn, not in triumph, but in sorrow for what loyalty exacted of them all. The tension within the courtroom is like a held breath. No one is brave enough to let out. The lights hum softly. Lena Hart stands at the center, small flash drive between her fingers once more. She doesn't talk straight away this time. She allows the silence to build, until even the air appears to lean. Your Honor, she asserts at last, voice firm but impassioned. The plaintiff enters exit, a certified voicemail message from Mr. Brown to my client. February 2018. Kody's attorney Derek Vaughn hardens. Objection relevant. Judge Alder cuts the air with her hand. Overruled. Play the file. Lena motions to the technician. A gentle click sounds. And then, Kody's voice echoes in the room. Meri, I do know you fronted. I do know we owe you big. I promise when the books balance, I'll sign your name to everything. You have my word. The words drift in the air like smoke. The courtroom is completely still. No paper shuffles, no whisper daring to ruin the silence. Meri's eyes shine. Her clasped hands and her lap quiver once, not with triumph, but with the burden of being finally believed. Kody's face flushes. That was years ago, he grumbles. It was taken out of context. Lena moves forward, her tone slicing but controlled. Context, Mr. Brown, is what this whole case rests on. You made a promise, and then you constructed an empire without keeping it. Judge Alder leans back, his pen still. The court will give serious thought to this recording. As the clip is done, the silence reveres, like truth has at last found a microphone. And in that tenuous hush, the cornerstone of Kody's defense starts to crack irreparably. The fluorescent lights in the courtroom fade slightly, as a projector roars to life. Lena Hart is positioned next to the witness stand. Your Honor, she states, the plaintiff calls Dr. Ava Sinclair, a financial reconstruction expert and forensic accountant. Dr. Sinclair comes in, serene, unflappable, oozing quiet authority. She's not in this to make waves. She's in this to present numbers that don't lie. She puts on her reading glasses and starts in. I was hired to examine 6 years of bank records, business filings, and property transfers among the Brown family's shared venture. The screen flickers. A digital web of arrows and dollar signs appears. Each line connects Meri's personal account to multiple Brown-owned entities. Red arrows pulse from her name toward property title, merchandise purchase, and tax payment. Dr. Sinclair goes on, her voice flat and accurate. What I discovered was an ongoing pattern. Meri Brown's money being directly transferred into holdings later, registered only in Mr. Kody Brown's name. These were not random expenditures, they were fundamental. Derek Vaughn leaps up fast. Doctor, are you suggesting ownership may be established through goodwill or shared religion? Sinclair blinks not. No, counselor, I'm talking about equity following contribution. If you have built a house with your own money in hands, the title shouldn't disappear, because someone else signed on the dotted line. She flips another slide. A towering figure emerges. $5,021,480. Her words cut through the silence. That, Your Honor, is the dollar value of Meri Brown's unseen contribution in principal, interest, and unrealized equity. Judge Alder's pen hovers halfway through the note. The gallery murmurs, gasps, whisper. Meri rapidly blinks to keep emotion in check. Kody looks at the shining number as though it's a predetermined verdict. In that instance, justice doesn't require noise. It's penned in numbers, shining for all to read. The atmosphere in the courtroom is charged. Dr. Ava Sinclair sits on the witness stand, calm and professional, her shining financial tables still on display. On the screen behind her, testimony that won't be forgotten. Derek Vaughn, Kody's lawyer, stands up abruptly. His tone carries sharpness, but beneath it nervous energy. Dr. Sinclair, he begins, pacing. You've presented complex graphs and impressive numbers, but let's be clear. These are your interpretation, not hard proof of ownership. Correct. Ava leans her head to one side. My conclusion relies on transactional proof that's been substantiated by bank statement, property records, and payment timestamps. The information isn't interpretation, it's math. Derek smirks. And still you say you can interpret intent. You're a finance guru, not a mind reader. Not batting an eyelash, she responds. Intent is demonstrated by pattern. When one party pays consistently while another always benefits, that's not chance, that's design. Lena sits with a quiet, speculative smile playing on her lips. Derek addresses the judge. Your Honor, this witness is venturing beyond her area of expertise. Judge Alder pushes up her glasses. Dr. Sinclair has laid her groundwork. Proceed. Derek's voice rises, frustration showing. So you're saying Meri Brown deserves $5 million because she wrote a few checks out of goodwill? Dr. Sinclair turns to him, eyes unwavering. No, counselor. I'm saying she funded the foundation of an empire, and the empire forgot her name. The words hit like thunder. A hush floods the courtroom. Even Kody's pen freezes midair. Lena stands slowly. No further questions, Your Honor. Dr. Sinclair packs her files and gets down. But the truth she left behind is still looming large, immovable, and irresistibly loud. The defense is cornered for the first time. Their shield, paper thin under the load of arithmetic justice. The courtroom doors screech open once more, and Christine Brown enters, tranquil, serene, but with the silent courage of one who has weathered storms and learned to smile through the thunder. The bailiff leads her to the witness stand, where she raises her right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth? Christine smiles softly. I do. When she is seated, Lena Hart comes over slowly. Mrs. Brown, you were involved in the family business venture, weren't you? Christine smiles. We all were. Some of us constructed it on paperwork, others on faith, and a few with both. Lena nods. Tell the court about Meri's contribution. Christine's gaze flashes to Meri, with a sorrow and respect. Meri was the one who woke up when everyone else went to sleep. She followed the figure, the orders, the budget, even when she received nothing in return but silence. We used to tease once that she was the heartbeat of the operation. There is a small smile, threading through the hall. Kody looks down, not meeting her eyes. Christine's voice shakes a little now. But eventually I knew this. Promises made verbally disappear quicker than. Meri trusted us, and we spent that trust like money. Lena allows her to catch her breath. You sense the family let her down. Christine lets out a breath. We let one another down, but we let her down most. A silence settles over the courtroom. Even Judge Alder relaxes, pen suspended, eyes soften. Christine dabs away a tear. and speaks quietly. Families are constructed on trust, but once trust is broken, it doesn't shatter. It resonates. Meri blinks, emotion flooding her eyes. For the first time, the case no longer feels like a lawsuit and begins to sound like a confession. The judge requests a 15-minute recess, but tension in the courtroom does not relent. It bubbles. Chatter halts as eyes trail after Meri and Kody Brown as they leave through opposite doors of the same hallway. The outside corridor seems too empty, too spacious, like the stillness before lightning tears the sky asunder. Meri halts beside a tall window. Sunlight streams through, bathes her in a golden glow. She breathes out, steady but weighted, the sort of breath that holds years of quiet. A moment later, Kody steps in at the end of the hall, his tie undone, his face split in pride and alarm. Their eyes meet, and the world stops. Think I wanted this. Kody's voice shatters the silence, ragged and protective. Think I like sitting there being ripped apart in front of strangers? Meri spins around slowly, her voice tranquil but slicing. You didn't like it, Kody, but you created it. And for years you treated my loyalty as something to be controlled, not something to be cherished. Kody steps in closer. We were a family. Mistakes are made, paperwork gets complicated. She stops him. No. Betrayal gets complicated. Paperwork is just evidence. For a moment, neither of them speaks. Tension vibrates between them. Decades of resentment and love distilled into one heartbreak silent. Kody drops his gaze. I never meant to hurt you. Meri's voice cracks, almost breaking. You didn't just hurt me, Kody. You erased. The bailiff yells down the hall. Court back in 5. Meri glides past him in silence, leaving Kody stuck. His own reflection looking back at him in the glass. That of a stranger rather than a man who once claimed the title of head of a family. The courtroom is tense. Days of depositions, paperwork, and sobs. And now only words remain. The final fight before a decision. Judge Alder glances up. Counsel closing arguments. Lena Hart stands up first. Her movements are peaceful yet purposeful, each action ringing with confidence forged from reality. She looks into the court, fingers lightly on the podium. This is not a revenge story. She starts off, her voice strong, rich. This is a story of acknowledgement, of a woman who created something authentic, something quantifiable, and watched it be taken away bit by bit. She lingers, allowing her words to soak in. Meri Brown thought loyalty overrode law for years. She thought her family would respect her work. Instead, her work was buried under signatures that left out her name. She points to the exhibits, ledgers, deeds, emails softly glowing on the projector. The proof isn't lying. The silence that ensued did. Lena's voice grows gentler. My client isn't seeking sympathy. She's seeking fairness. For her name to be reinstated, where it rightfully should. Alongside the truth, she takes a step back. The gallery is quiet. Then Derek Vaughn rises. His voice is curt, guardedly. Families aren't company. Feelings do blur things. We can't penalize love. Mrs. Brown acted out of love, not commerce. He addresses the judge. If all acts of trust are deemed contract, we annihilate that which makes family holy. Judge Alder's pen trails slowly, face unreadable. Lena answers softly, near a whisper. What kills family, counselor, is not accountability. It's betrayal. The courtroom is silent. The gavel won't fall yet, but the verdict already hangs in the air, heavy and unavoidable, like justice, at last coming home. The air inside the courtroom is thick and heavy, like the walls are even waiting to inhale once more. The crowd is motionless, each seat occupied with strained silence. Cameras whir quietly in the rear, capturing what will be the most stunning verdict in the history of the Brown family. Judge Alder returns, robes billowing, face impassive. The bailiff cries, all rise. The room rises as one. Meri tilts her chin up, pulse even but hands clenched tightly in her lap. On the opposite side of the aisle, Kody's fingers drum against the table, rapid, anxious, desperate. The judge starts, her tone steady but authoritative. Throughout this trial, this court has received comprehensive testimony and seen transparent, traceable evidence. What started as a family dispute has uncovered something bigger, a series of hidden deals, violated promises, and misrepresented ownership. She pauses, her eyes flicking toward Kody for a moment. Equity requires vindication. Where contribution and dependency are established, justice must act, no matter how complex the family that has created it. Alder spins the document in front of her. Accordingly, it is the order of this court that Meri Brown is awarded restitution in the sum of $5 million, $5 million, representing her equitable interest and compensatory damage. Gasps echo through the courtroom. Reporters scribble furious. Kody's face drains of color. Robin presses her lips together, fighting tears. Mary's breath catches, a quiet, trembling exhale that sounds like relief. Judge Alder's voice softens. This case will stand as a reminder that truth once buried does not stay silent forever. The gavel strikes, bang, and within that one voice, the room explodes, half in disbelief, half in wonder. Justice has spoken, and the kingdom Kody crafted out of silence just fell apart before him. The echo of the gavel fades, but its impact stays behind, a sound that vibrates in every heart within that courtroom. Cameras flash, journalists push forward, voices blur together, and still Meri Brown stands perfectly still. For a moment, she just closes her eyes, letting the truth sink in. She doesn't smile. She doesn't rejoice. She just takes a breath, deeply, slowly, like someone who has finally been permitted to breathe out after holding her breath for years. Outside, the courthouse steps are filled with news lights and microphones. As the doors swing open, Meri emerges with quiet pride. Behind her, Christine and Janelle come a few steps behind. No longer witness, but sisters born again from truth. Her face is bathed in flashes, but she does not win. A reporter shouts, "Meri, what does this victory mean to you?" Meri hesitates. The audience is quiet. Then she responds softly. Yet each word is weighed with the importance of a decade's silence finally lifted. "This is not about money. It's about being seen. For years, I gave everything thinking family would equal fairness. Today, the court reminded, justice can be family too." She shakes, but her eyes shine with determination. Another reporter yells, "Do you forgive him?" She glances back at the courthouse behind her, where Kody still sits motionless inside. "Forgiveness," she whispers quietly, "isn't forgetting. It's letting go of holding out for an apology that might never arrive." The cameras flash once more. Meri glances down the street, sunlight in her hair, and as she steps into the open air, one truth stands tall. Sometimes the greatest victory isn't winning back what was lost. It's walking away without bitterness.